Hello, welcome or welcome back to the YarnNYarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about my adventures in knitting, spinning, crochet and weaving, all of the fibre related things. Today's video is day 2 of my 12 Castons Adventures 2026. If you happen to be clicking on this as your first video, 12 Castons is a make-along that I host every year, and between the 24th of December and the end of January I cast on 12 new projects to set myself up for my coming weeks, months, years worth of making. And for the last several years the wonderful folks that watch this channel, the YarnNYarns community, have been joining in the fun. So there is an intro video which I will make sure to link up above or down below somewhere. And there are also several other creators making videos like this one or similar to this one. So if you want more 12 Castons content, there's a list of other creators below as well who have posted their videos. It's definitely not too late to join in the cast on party if you want to do so, and I should stress that you do not need to cast on 12 projects to join in this make along. You can just cast on one thing if you want, and you are most welcome to join the cast on party. Okay, day 2, it's a Sunday for me as I'm recording this, and it's already just past midday, so my day is disappearing quickly, but I am determined to cast on today. It's been a couple of days for me since I did my first cast on, the socks cast on. The day after Christmas Day was a driving day for us. We drove back home from Yorkshire and we did a little detour to visit James's grandpa as well, so it was a long day of driving. James doesn't drive, my partner James. I'm the driver in our household. So yeah, it was a long day of driving. And then yesterday I kind of needed a minute to recover. It's a long way to travel there and back in a short space of time. So yeah, I was pretty exhausted yesterday. Just needed a day to rest, recover and edit the first of the 12 Castons videos. Today I'm going to be casting on a lovely pattern that was gifted to me at the beginning of this year, after the last cast on party, 12 Castons 2025. Rachel kindly gifted me this pattern as a wonderful surprise as a thank you for hosting the 12 Castons, because I think she just enjoyed the videos and enjoyed the cast on party. So I think if I remember rightly, she picked something from my queue or my wish list, and it's the Mosaic carpet project bag, which is a pattern by Walin, and I've printed out the pattern page, the first pattern page, in colour so you can have a look at what the bag looks like. I have at several points in the year wanted to cast this on and just never quite got round to it, and so what perfect time but for the 12 Castons. I originally planned to raid my stash. This is knit in, I think it's knit in Marie Wallin's own British breeds yarn, yes, but it basically needs like a 4-ply type yarn. I have a few like oddballs of Jamieson's Spindrift and that sort of stuff in my stash, and originally I was going to try and pull all of the yarn selection from that stash, but a couple of months ago I went to Cardiff with my lovely friend Pip, and we ventured into the Arcade yarn shop, which is a new-ish yarn shop in Cardiff. It's been there several months now, and they have in stock one of my favourite woolly types of yarn, which is the colourwork yarn, Pip Colourwork by Baram U. So here are a couple of balls of the yarn. They had a really nice selection of colours, and as I was browsing the shop I ended up pulling out a bunch of these yarns in kind of an autumnal sort of palette, which is my usual or my favourite kind of go-to. As we were looking through, I pulled up this project on Ravelry and decided to pick out a bunch of colours to make my carpet bag in. The pattern uses 10 colours, 10 25-gram balls. These are 25-gram balls, and I ended up going through and trying to pick like a dark and a light in several shades. So I'm just going to run through what I picked out on the day. But yeah, I got this rusty orange and a peach colour. I got two different shades of green, 2 different shades of like red and pink. I got this yellow and this sort of beigey oatmeal-y kind of colour. So that was my starting point. I bought 8 balls on the day. It was nice to be able to support that shop. and come home with some lovely yarns. I figured I could pull the final 2 colours from my stash. I'm not really following the colour palette that Marie Walin uses in her design, so I've just picked out contrasting colours. Some of her colour choices are sort of 2 shades of a similar colour, like there's 2 browns, there's 2 greens, there's 2 sort of pinky reds, but then she's also got some white in hers as well, which I hadn't sort of picked from my little shopping spree. When I got home, I thought I'd have a little rummage to see what I did have, and I came up with these 2 browns, which I think fit quite nicely with my sort of autumnal kind of colour palette, so I might stick those in. But also I have these 2 Spindrift yarns, which are fairly reminiscent of the sort of greens that Marie Walin has in her design. These are more towards the sort of tealy kind of scale, I think, so I picked those 2 out. And then I've also grabbed a ball of white because I might need to play around with my colours, I figure. Particularly there's a couple of colour combinations, like these 2 might be too close to each other to use together to sort of show up the mosaic knitting detail. Also my greens, I think, I'm not sure, they look quite different on the camera, but in real life they're a little bit more similar than that, I think. But I pulled out another leftover that I have, slightly brighter green, that I might use. So yeah, it's all a bit up in the air in terms of like what yarns I'm going to actually end up using. I think I'm just going to cast on and go with the flow, see what happens. This is probably one where I could have done with maybe doing a little bit of a swatch to test out my colours, but I'm happy in the knowledge that I might have to sort of rip back a bit and play around with this as I go through. I just really want to get it on the needles. So the bag is knit in panels, so there is a front panel and a back panel exactly the same. You seam them together and you add a lining, and there's a button at the top as well. There's no real benefit to joining in the round. You could definitely make that adaptation, but this is all garter stitch. If you do that flat, then you're knitting every row, whereas if you join in the round, you're going to have to knit 1 row, purl 1 row to get that garter stitch effect. As indicated in the name, it's mosaic colour work, so rather than stranding colours, you're slipping stitches to create the colour patterning. The chart, honestly, I'm obviously not going to share the chart with you because it's a paid for pattern. Oh, but it's going to be a test for the eyes, I think. If you've ever knit any patterns from Marie Walin's books, you'll know the kind of thing that I mean. Maybe I should just cover it up and then show you a little bit of one of the patterns. It's all very dots, tiny chart for the amount of stitches that you end up having. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of an adventure for my eyes, I think, my old lady eyes. And there's also some interesting instructions for how to work the mosaic. Hopefully, it felt a little bit confusing to me as I was quickly reading through the pattern this morning, but hopefully it'll become clearer as we're knitting. And I know how to mosaic knit, so this is not my first mosaic rodeo. Oh, I just found another yarn that I also pulled out of my stash that I forgot to mention earlier. I picked out this grey as well, just in case. I thought maybe one of the stripes in grey and white might be quite nice. Or for these colours where I think maybe there's not enough contrast, if that turns out to be the case, I could substitute in a white or a grey if I want it to be a bit less stark. I'm looking forward to getting this on the needles. It calls for a 3mm needle, so I shall find one of those in my needle roll, and I'm looking forward to just spending a cosy afternoon knitting. I have already been out this morning. I went for a quick walk. I was hoping that there might be a nice sunrise this morning, but it's just bitter cold and cloudy, very grey today. I did take a teeny tiny amount of footage from my walk this morning, so I will pop that in, as I know a lot of you often like to see the sea in my videos. I'm very lucky to live on the south coast of Wales, right by the sea. So yeah, I shall pop in a few shots of my walk this morning while I'm getting myself ready to get casting on. I shall share that with you. I've done a bunch of house chores, so there's not a huge amount in my way for the rest of the day, so I'm hoping to get at least a couple of these panels on the first side knit. We shall see. I'm going to be keeping all of my yarns in this project bag that I made myself a while ago. This is some fabric that came back from New Zealand with me when I visited New Zealand 5, 6, 7 years ago now. I don't know, time's a funny thing, isn't it? I can't remember exactly when. But these are stylised tui birds, and they have this very distinctive sound, and they were in the garden. James's sister lives in New Zealand, so we could hear them like calling to each other often when we stayed with her. So yeah, I picked up this fabric because I thought it was a nice reminder of my trip, but it's quite a deep bag, so it's good to accommodate all of the balls of yarn that I've picked out. I am going to pop on Grumpy Sheep Happy Llama have posted their first 12 cast on videos, so I shall definitely add them to the list of creators at the bottom. And I went to watch this yesterday actually, but I switched on the video and I think they've done a slightly different format to usual, whereby they're having a little cast on party. I think they're sat at the kitchen table casting on and chatting, and I thought, oh, this would just be such a cosy watch while I'm casting on my next project. So yeah, I shall be watching their video while I'm casting on, and I'm going to get myself a nice hot drink and just cozy in for the afternoon. I think that would be a nice way to start this cast on. Robin and Sylvie were the perfect company to sit with as I got my project started. I figured out that the first two panels that you're knitting in the sort of different colours of the Mosaic chart are actually the bottom of the bag, so you don't really see them. Because I'm not following any kind of colour order that Marie Walin has set out in the pattern, I figured I could start, there's two colourwork panels on the bottom piece. I could start with the two combinations that I'm a little bit unsure of. So I started with the two reds, and they are very, very close together. This light is not really helping. So although I'm not unhappy with them, I probably wouldn't want this to be sort of showing on the main part of the bag, but I'm going to continue doing this. And now I know that if I want to use either of these reds, I'll probably substitute in the grey perhaps. And then once I've finished this panel, I will switch to the 2 greens and do the same. So I figure this was a good way to swatch the colours while still making progress on the project, using those ones that I'm not so sure about. I've queued up another video to watch as I carry on with this. I've seen Kirsty Knits and Sews has put up her first cast on video, so I'm going to carry on with this project while I watch Kirsty's video. Okay, it's time to wrap this video up and share with you the progress that I managed to make on my bag on this second day of cast-ons. Before I get into that though, this is always the fun part for me. I get to share some community makes with you, and also a few more channels here on YouTube who have popped up videos sharing their participation in the 12 cast-ons. So I shall add the channels to the list that I'm curating below, and I will just carry this list forward and everyone will be shown under all of the 12 cast-on videos from here on in. I already mentioned Grumpy Sheep Happy Llama in this video, and Spar Knits as well. You saw me catching up with Anne as I was working on my bag. Also Zenith of Whips and Whimsy, they were discussing their 12 cast-on plans in their episode 30, but they've also since popped up their first 12 cast-on episode. Rose Opal Knits has been posting her videos. Carla Knits has the whole series of 12 videos up on their channel. Carla started her cast-ons I think somewhere in the middle of December, so if you want a whole series of videos to watch then go check out Carla's channel. Soxy Nana Alice has got a couple of videos up. Kitty Scrapper has also got some videos up, as has Jo Knits. And then one that I've been told is posting videos but haven't yet had a chance to check out is Laura at the Corner of Knit and Tea, so I shall be checking out her channel soon. But yeah, I shall add all of those to the list underneath this video if you want to go and check out some more 12 cast-on content. As promised, some community makes for you as well. I'm probably around about halfway through the comments on the first video. There's been a lot of activity, as there always is at the start of the make along, so I haven't managed to get to everyone, but over the course of my videos, because I'll be spreading them out right through December and January, I'll have a chance to catch up. Please do keep posting beneath the videos to let me know what you've been casting on, and I will get through everyone eventually, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So Marion has been using some fibre that she got in her advent this year and has spun up, and she's cast on an habitation throw. Andrea has started an infinity scarf, a Velocore using handspun yarn, and a Calliope sweater. Susan has started some socks and will be stash diving for the rest of her cast-ons. Heather has started a One Love shawl and a shift. Kathy has started some frosted gingerbread socks. Ruth has started a Musselburgh, some socks, and a traveller hoodie from handspun yarn. Tanya has cast on some intersection socks. I think she said she was inspired by my first video, so yay! Pip has also started 2 pairs of socks and a shift. Karen from the Recreational Knitter has got her first video up. She's listed below, and has cast on her first new project, which is a salty air tea. Tess has started and already finished a capo, and she said she enjoyed knitting it so much she started another one. Sew and Pray has started Nail the Gnome, and said that they don't usually do multiple cast-ons, but were tempted into starting a tube scarf as well, which she's going to be using as a temperature scarf. Jo Knits has started some socks. Linda Marie has started a Meadow Moon. Anne has started a Bolton Pass hat and Saturday sleeves. Lee has started a Tolster tank. The lovely Angela from Attic Spin Dye Yarn Company has started some Blackpool rock socks and has wound up some yarn, which sounds really interesting. It's yarn that's been specifically dyed for the assigned pooling effects that you can get. So she is about to start a cowl from that yarn. Yarn Pony started some socks. Keita of Robury Knits YouTube channel has started a baby cardigan. Jenny has started intersection socks, and you might remember from my first video, if you watched that I said that I know that someone had started the intersection socks as their first cast on, and that was Jenny. Jenny's also started a Rosemary cardigan, a Junction cowl and a Sophie scarf. Nia has started a Jaunty. Kathleen has started some socks, a pair of rib socks and a pair of vanilla socks, and also a Vintersole. Gamer Granny has cast on socks, as has Carla. And then finally for today, Lynn has started an Easy Peasy hat, a Rosemary cardigan, that's a couple of Rosemaries we've had in this list, a Citrus hat, a colourwork jumper, heart and mittens, and a Traveller shell. Already so many fabulous projects, even more pop up over on Instagram and also in our Ravelry thread as well. So yeah, it's pretty hard for me to keep up with everything at the moment, so please do bear with me. But I will catch up eventually. Right, time for me to confess how I got on with my project during the rest of that first day of cast on, which for me is a couple of days ago now. I did in fact manage to get the second section of the bag knit in those two green colourways. As I suspected, there isn't really a good enough contrast, I don't think, between those. The contrasts are looking more on the camera than they do in real life. I've actually come to like the sort of red and pink section a lot more than I initially thought. I think seeing it in daylight has helped, but again, I feel like it shows a lot more sort of contrast and definition on the camera than what I actually see with my own eyes in real life. So I will not be using those colour combinations on the main body of the bag. And I've just started the next section where you increase a bunch of stitches for the main portion of the bag, and I'm using the two orangey shades. I got this nice rusty orange and that peachy colour. I was really quite sad to finish my day and put this away because I really enjoyed knitting this, even though my colours so far haven't worked out quite as well as I thought, or hoped I should say. Yeah, I really got into the rhythm of it. I think I said in my initial intro to this video that when I read through the pattern instructions they seemed a little bit confusing, but they really weren't. When I got going with the pattern, it was very easy to follow. I think it was just my early morning brain flicking through the pattern thinking I don't know what she means by this, but it was very obvious when I went back to the pattern, so I just thought I would clarify that in case I have accidentally put you off making this project when really there's no confusion or no issue with the pattern. I had more time to kind of think and plan the future sections of my bag as I was sat knitting this, and obviously as I got a little bit more into the pattern and thought about how my yarns might work, I have, I think, come up with a plan of how I will be setting out my colours in the bag as I go forward. But of course I will chat much more about that when we actually get to the making vlog and I am able to come back to this project and make more progress. But for now, quite sadly, the project goes away in the bag until I get to do work on it again. It's always the joy and the pain of the 12 cast-ons is getting all of these projects on the needles, but because they are things that I've wanted to knit for a while, it's hard to put them down at the end of the day knowing that I don't know when I'll be getting back to them. Day 2 of the cast-ons finished. I have actually started my third cast on today, so the next video will hopefully be coming shortly. Don't forget to let me know in the comments below what you have been casting on since my first video, and also please do continue to let me know if you see other YouTube channels posting about their 12 cast-ons. I will continue to add to my list below the video. As I mentioned, it's kind of hard for me to keep up with everything, particularly at the start of the make along, so I shall do my best to catch up with everyone as soon as I can. I am off to make myself a cuppa, edit this video, and hopefully make some progress on cast on number 3. I will of course be back again soon to share with you what that project is, so I hope you will join me for the next video. But until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some other things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.